Okay, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Courtney Carlson. This is going to be I had to look at my notes, a 6-video series because I just wrote a book. It's my 3rd book. It's called Unbecoming Her, and I'm really, really excited about it. And so I'm going to do a little mini series breaking down 6 of the 26 chapters of that book, and I'll tag everything below if you want to check it out. But in this first video, I really want to teach you how to have your own back, okay? My computer is beeping. Sorry. I don't know if it annoys you, but it annoys me. There it goes. Okay. Having your own back, so important if you want to... Sorry, hold on. I have a kitten on my legs. That hurt. She's clawing up my legs. So important to have your own back if you want to move forward in life, if you want to grow, if you want to risk and do something that you are afraid to do. Okay. I love you. So having your own back is super, super easy. And just like all of the things that I teach, it's internal, it's inside of you, and you get to decide. That's all you need. So if you ever wonder, like, can I do what this lady is talking about? You can, because those are the first steps. Do you want to have your own back? And internally decide. So for me, a lot of my life shifted when I started to learn and realize that I was the manager of my life. I was the manager of my internal world. That meant that no one was creating my life for me. I got to take back the keys and I got to start making the decisions in my own life. And that was really exhilarating for me, actually, because I got to go to the drawing board. I got to, get my notebook and start to dream and start to really think, like, if I am the curator of my life, if I get to do the things that I love to do and want to do, what does that look like for me? And so I would encourage you to do that first step, to write it out, everything. And that doesn't mean just your job. That doesn't mean make $1 million. Maybe that is your thing. But in friendships, in a partnership, with children, with your job, with your time, where you live, be specific and write it all out. What would it look like? And don't just push it away like you can do the exercise and at the end of the day push it all away, or you can start to get really serious about this work. And that's what I did. So I wrote it all out. This has been a few years now, and I've had many drafts along the way because I got to see how I started to get the things that were on my list. And that might be a whole nother video, but I started to work for it. I started to live it out in my life. I started to experience it coming to me. And so this concept of having your own back, it looks like, it doesn't mean that you're always right. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get everything wrong. It doesn't mean that you're not going to make a mistake. It just means when you go to make a decision. So let's just take one example of you are deciding, like I just went through this with writing my book, okay? Let's say you decide to write a book. Now, initially, I'm sure like anyone else, you have all these thoughts and fears and, well, will people read it? Will they like it? Will I sound like an idiot? Like, do I have anything to say? What's my story, right? All of those initial fears and initial insecurities come up, okay? And so with a decision like this, in having your own back, it gets to the point where you ask yourself, like, the honest, real question of, do I want to do this thing for myself? That's the first question. Will I have my own back when things go wrong? That's the second question. Will I have my own back in this? Meaning, will I not turn on myself? Because that's what we do sometimes. We make a decision that we think is good for us, and then we get in that decision and it hurts us, or we make a mistake. And then the thing we do is we turn on ourselves and we blame ourselves or shame ourselves and say, and call ourselves names and be critical. because like you should have known better type of thing, right? And so having your own back is doing the opposite of that. It's staying with yourself. So you can think about this before you make the decision. So I thought about this extensively before I wrote my book. Do I want to do this? Why do I want to do this? Do I want to do it for me? Do I want to do it for people? Will I have my own back if people hate it? Yes, right? This was my process. Will I have my own back? And you can ask the same thing like in this job. Will I have my own back if I take this job and I get fired? Ugh, okay. Can I have my own back if I take this job and I mess everything up and they see that I am not good at this? Okay, right? And so you're starting to hold that thing, can I have my own back, up to your decision. And if you get a no, then you know the answer. And if you get a yes, I was like, yeah, actually, if no one likes my book, I do. If no one reads it, I do. I read it a lot to revise it, right? So I'm going to have my back even if I fail, even if I don't like it, even if no one likes it, even if I get hurt, even if someone else gets hurt, even if it all goes to shit. I am still going to have my back in making this decision for myself right now. So when that circumstance happens, when it all goes south, I will actually get to stay with myself. I won't turn on myself, and I will have my own back. And I'll just wrap this up a little bit. A couple things that does is it builds equity with yourself. When you realize that you can make a mistake with yourself and still be okay, you're like, oh, actually, I'm going to take more ground. I'm going to do something else that's risky. I'm going to do something else that's scary. I'm going to stretch myself and help myself grow because I learned when I make mistakes, I actually have my back now. I don't turn on myself now. I stay with myself and I'm like, oh, that stinks that you made that mistake. But I don't turn on her. I don't shun her or shame her anymore. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. All right, like and subscribe if it is helpful, and stay tuned to the second video on walking through these chapters of Unbecoming Her.